What's up, guys? Hi, Tracy. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Cool. Hello, Marcy and Hope. If you guys want to share your screens and your audio, that's fine. I would like to just talk to everybody about what they did, but remember it's being recorded, so if you don't want your face on the internet, you can take your face off the internet. But
So can you see and hear me?
yes, I can.
Okay. Well, I have a little X through my box. So I was like, oh, it says share. And I'm like, Miro and share screen, but I'm not sharing screen. So we're good.
Yep. Yeah, Hopin's kind of cool that you can share. It's like it's got your video feed and the screen share.
Okay.
So this is good because then my presentation is big, but we can also still talk because there's more value in each other. So which pride are you with?
I'm actually South Coast Pride in New Bedford, Mass.
Oh, I saw South Coast on the sign up and I was just like, what the heck is the South Coast?
Well, we represent anywhere between P Town and Cape Cod. And well, the P Town, Cape Cod Pride does all the Cape Cod. And we do like from the tip of Cape Cod to Providence and Boston. So we do the whole South Coast.
Nice. That sounds like a good party.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so this workshop I want hey Tiffany. I wanted to talk about the different tools that we've all been using to take Pride online because it was a pretty big, shock to the system. I've never heard of a virtual Pride event up until last year, and so we all kind of had to pivot. And some prides have a tech person, and some don't. And whoever that tech person is, we all know different stuff. I know what I know for. I've learned a lot of the technical skills I have through my volunteer work because as a need would arise, I would figure out the solution and then go learn something. So this is kind of a journey of what we did, and I like to hear what everybody else did, and then maybe we can help each other out because I know that OutCT is going to be doing a virtual Pride component this year, and I'm assuming a lot of other Prides are going to be online. So let's make it awesome. So, big tech and you. First thing you got to do. So, with the technical project, you got to be organized, clear topic. When is it happening? How long? What's the time? What's the content? It's it's planning like any other event, but you have to be that much more in tune because of the online, you know, nature of things. And don't do it alone. Lean on each other, share what you're doing, getting organized. So, with the planning and the getting organized and how important that is, and having to use the alternative means of communication, our organization relies pretty heavily on Google Drive. Um, it's just the sharing. You can work on stuff in real time with one another. I'm assuming most people are on it, but if you're not, use it. Google Forms. I also use something called Cognito Forms. It's like Google Forms, but it's a little bit more beefed up. The registration process that you guys did, that went from Cognito Forms and then it sent you over to Hopin. And the reason I did that is because with Cognito Forms, I could process the transactions that I needed and collect the data I needed and make it send you around to different websites. And I don't know, if anybody here was curious and clicked the different buttons on the form, but you're able to integrate if statements, you're able to do set different prices. It's the level of control you have of your data aggregation through Cognito Forms is above and beyond Google Forms. Google Forms is great for a survey. Beyond that, I would move it up. Um, Also, we're having to grab a lot of YouTube videos and cut up things. So there's a program called YouTube DL. It's actually a command line program, so it's a little bit uh, advanced, if you will. But like most technical things, it's just a matter of interest and patience and desire to learn. If you want it to work, you'll figure it out. So, in the getting organized, you got to think about your format. Do you just want to do the one-on-one? Do you have multiple presenters? Do you want the Hollywood squares, or do you want like the Late Show? For our Pride, what we did was actually a mix of live and pre-recorded content. So I phrased it to people as, think of this as a holiday special, with special guests, where you have your live hosts saying, da, 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 welcome to the event, and then let's watch a clip by so and so. So for us, it was a combination of these, which was a more difficult way to do it, but I wanted to reach for the stars. So on that note, we're talking broadcasting. We're talking like you're broadcasting your Pride event, and you can do pre-recorded or you can do live. When you do pre-recorded, it reduces the risk substantially because you're not worrying about your network speed, you're not worrying about your computer crashing, you're not worrying about people showing up on time. It's you create your polished product and you're able to preload it to YouTube or wherever it is that you want to host, and then it's done. You can set them the broadcast, and it's good to go. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
Chrome tab just crashed.
he's back.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't. My Chrome tab crashed. I don't know. So that is a perfect example of why pre-recorded is a substantially lower risk, because if I was just running like a live Pride and then something crashed, then it crashed for all your viewers. So perfect example. Um, but with the pre-recorded, you can still live stream it. If you wanted kind of like none of the benefit and all of the risk, you could pre-record it and then live stream it. So you have all the risk of your stream crashing. So I wouldn't advise that, but you can do it. Um, and then, so if you do it live, it's more exciting, also known as risky. It's, one of those, you can frame it how you like. Um, the other benefits, you can gauge and interact with your audience. So people are live commenting, they can call in. Um, you can you can change cameras over. So for our Pride, we did have a socially distanced celebration with a couple people basically watching the broadcast. So I was able to cut the camera over to that and say, oh, hey, here we are. So, you can get more creative with it. Well, not more creative. You can get creative in different ways. So I think it's worth investigating. However, most importantly is to go at your own pace. Figure out where you're comfortable, where you can bring the risk down as low as possible. Um, so if you want to do something and then you start researching it and you don't know, like if it's over your head, just take a step down. It's better to do like a solid, well polished product that's more tame. My thoughts. So when we're talking about getting online, you got a lot of options. Oh, I need a water. So, seeing as we've got this big crowd, And so these are the different kind of products we used. Did anybody in this group familiar with any of these? With Hopin, OBS, Streamlabs, StreamYard.
StreamYard.
You guys use StreamYard? So StreamYard's actually supposed to be. I think they're merging with Hopin. So that might be something on the horizon for you guys if you like that. Yeah, StreamYard was a is I didn't use it personally, but Edwin uses it a lot for the online interview shows, and that's been a service that people have been really happy with. So for our Pride, and I think when I watched like Miami's Pride, and it looked like they used StreamYard too. So StreamYard is good because it's not relying on a single PC. So it's like that live stream that we were talking about the last slide, but it cuts risk down because it's not funneling through like one point that can fail. Now, if you're using something like OBS or Streamlabs OBS, that's open broadcasting software. That's basically that's control room. So that's what we did. I had everything running on my computer. All the streams came from my computer. So if my computer crashed, it was done. So that was the highest risk, highest reward. That was that was how we could achieve our live and cut scenes and put in videos and everything like that. But I was I was stressed all day. But um, but we realized the risk. I put it out there. I had backups. I had a backup stream, so if my computer did go out, it would default back to something else. And we had a pre-recorded Pride that we put on YouTube as like a hidden thing. So in the event that I did go down, we had content that we could just throw right in there. So we recognized the giant pit in the ground and we just made sure we had a plan around it. So Edwin used a lot of Adobe products, Final Cut Pro, for the editing of our videos together. And I know that Staten Island Pride, you guys did the same thing. You had like this nice edited together video with all these clips and content, and that was put together with the Final Cut. Also, so YouTube was our primary, that's the primary streaming base for most everybody, and their their interface is really good. You can schedule your stream to go live at a certain time, and then you can do the like the delayed broadcast. So if you're like Pride is going live at noon, but you posted it 3 days ago, so you're good. You're just sitting waiting everything to go. Um, Another service that is very helpful is this service called Castr. We were able to take that one stream that was originating from my computer, my broadcast stream, and we were able to push it to multiple platforms. So we were on Facebook, we were on YouTube, and we were on Instagram. I didn't quite handle where they took it, but Castr is a good one for reaching the widest audience. Um, and Hopin. So so far, Toppin, it's I think it's working. Uh, we've got people in the room. It seems like everybody is doing okay, and after today, I think you'll be able to walk away with an opinion of whether or not you'd like to use it. It's a little pricey. It worked out to about $100 a month, um, but um, I can't comment on Twitch actually. I That's not one that I have personally learned a whole lot about. So I can't say one or the other, but if that's what you're using, I would say look at Castr and make the assessment. For as many pieces of software that I know, there are like a million more that do the same thing. So that's my thought there. So let's see. Nuts and bolts. So when we're talking about doing a live broadcast, like from a single computer, you got to make sure that your computer can handle it. If you've got like all these different inputs and outputs and this and that, do you have the processing power? Are you working off a laptop with an integrated graphics card, or do you have a big computer that you built? If those words don't make sense to you, then I wouldn't rely on the computer. Also, you got to take in consideration your network speeds. You want an upload speed at least of 5 bits per second, but really 17 to 20 is a much more comfortable place to be. If you, in and of yourself, want to push a whole stream, then you want to have like a nice hardline connection. Um, I use speedtest.net to check, and also when you're talking about doing a broadcast off your computer, you might need a separate audio interface card, or you at least need a some sort of mixer for microphones. You can get audio mixers to go to USB, um, but you also need video capture cards if you're using higher end cameras with like HDMI output. So you gotta have an HDMI input. It's just basically hardware requirements is something that when you're in your planning phase and you're talking about your different ways to do it, you got to consider. All right, this is what I want to do. Do I have the means to do it? If you don't, you can just do your browser-based webcast, which is like your StreamYard or your Zoom, because then it doesn't matter your computer. You can do it off your phone, your iPad, whatever. So once you know you have your plan, you know when you're going to do it, you know the format you'd like to do, you know I want to do it dispersed, I want to do it live, I want to do it pre-recorded, all that, you promote it. You do the landing page, the registration forms, using tools like Google Forms or Cognito Forms. You know, spread the media, social, blah blah blah. This stuff, I don't think I need to. I think we all, I'm sure we've all done a ton of social media marketing in these last couple months. But so yeah, so that is my slides, and so for us, the the live stream, it worked pretty well. I mean, it was a lot of work, but it went off without a hitch. And I thought it was neat that we were able to have kind of a unique offering. I didn't see a lot of other organizations doing that, but it might also be because they went for this, not the safer, but a more achievable, solid outcome, and we pushed it a little more. But overall, I'd do it again. So I want to hear from you guys though. What software do you use that I don't know about? Anything cool? Did you guys did we Oh, Tracy, you want the information emailed to you? Yeah, I can do
Yeah, just a little. The key points are nice. Our virtual event was mostly pre-recorded and just done from our Facebook page,
that.
and then shared on monthly 10 to 15, 20 different sites that we can post on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we actually did pre-recordings. One of our guys is invested in church, so we did reflections on faith interviews with all the local clergy folks
Nice.
in the South Coast, and every Sunday ran that. And on Saturday, we helped promote whatever Boston Pride was doing because in our area, it goes Boston, Providence, us, and then Cape Cod. So we made sure the Saturdays we help with that. And this year, we've rented Gallery X in New Bedford, which last year we were supposed to. So what we did is we had online showings of people's artwork, and then people could buy it from then. So we had done a lot of highlighting local gay artists, LGBTQ plus artists. Hey, look, the doggy's behind you in the
Yeah.
window. Doggy in the window.
Yeah.
Sorry. Um, but it was nice because we involved the entire community, youth, everybody. And the year before, um, we had the 50th anniversary of Stonewall event. And in 1 week, we curated a museum, what do you call it, an art museum in one of the lobbies of the hotel, the Harbor Hotel in New Bedford. And we had two youth sell their first piece of the artwork. It was amazing,
Nice. And that was
So
online?
I'm sorry.
And that was all online?
No, fortunately for us, that was we
Mm-hmm.
were able to be there, but it wasn't online. So we're trying to keep growing every year to do something, even hopefully next year we're all going to be, coming together and having these things. But I think still doing things online is a good way to interact with other people. Because not in a million years would I have thought to do anything about reflections on faith. And we actually have videos on our website. It's called Out in the Shadows. So we did coming out stories, and we just did trans and non-binary, and added those to um, our repertoire. So
So one thing that I think is cool about taking things online is I feel like it opens up the accessibility big time. So with the events you were doing, did you get any kind of new or different audience?
I don't know
Oh,
if I'm the only one who's like live. I'm trying to like waiting for other people to say stuff.
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, so Tiffany, you said so you guys did pre-recorded and you're setting up that yeah, that whole premiere and live chat thing is really cool. Like it achieves the same like live interactivity but like takes the risk way down. So I want to know what this whole situation you're setting up in the future is. Do you know, or do you just know that it is in existence? Are you guys setting up like a broadcast studio, or is it more like browser based stuff? I'll wait for your reply. And I put a link to the Google Slides if you guys want. And oh, hey Tiffany,
Hi. I figured that I would just talk because it is a lot.
thanks.
Um, so what we're actually going to be doing is live streaming from a well, it will be like a broadcast studio type of situation. So we're going to be live streaming from brunch, from our Pride Mobile, and oh god, what's the third? It's so much, but those two for sure we're going to be live streaming from. And so last year when we did our Pride Mobile, we actually tested out StreamYard, um, and realized that StreamYard is great, but it's also um, a lot of work for like the technical pieces. And so for us, we had a one person show who was doing the streaming, and it took a lot out of her. So we realized, okay, um, she gonna need backup. And so we have a few folks who are coming in, bringing in their expertise, um, as far as live streaming and sound and like all these different things. And we're going to basically have like a headquartered type of situation,
Mm,
and then have folks in each of the locations that we need them to be at. Because the thing about our brunch is that it's like it's called like a taste of DC. And so we're going to be at multiple venues. And so in doing that, we realized that, we're going to need to have different people at different places who solely are going to be focused on just the live stream, nothing else but the live stream. And be able to have like connection through our uh what is it called? What do we use? Teams. So setting up channels and teams so that people can communicate if they need to without having like an overflow of like having to like people interference, I guess you could say, because we use Microsoft Teams on the regular for our pride. So having those channels set up, and then um we're in DC, Tracy, Capital Pride. um and so yeah, yeah, we realize that having those are going to be great.
oh.
And the beauty about StreamYard is that we can connect to the social media. We can connect to the YouTubes if we need to. Because we also thought, okay, well, what if we just do it live through YouTube? And so that was also something that somebody brought up. We're not exactly sure about what that's going to look like. But yeah, it's a whole situation. Yeah.
So I think you brought up a good point that streaming is considerably more labor intensive than one would assume.
Hmm.
And I think a big difference is like when you're at Pride, there's energy and momentum, and if you just like fell over for 30 minutes, the event's still gonna go. Like you
Pretty
can't.
much.
There is nothing one person can do to stop an in-person event. However, streaming is a whole different story. You have to stay on it, and you have to be focused. Like like when we were doing our day of, I, I couldn't have anybody in the room. Like I had to be glued to the computer, and that's what you brought up with like your different locations at brunch. It's like the, if your job is the streaming host person, that's it. You have to like be on cue, which is why like the organization is different. But yeah, it sounds like you guys are definitely developing. I think last year was the first round of virtual pride, so the second round is going to be everybody's going to know better. We've all had a year to practice.
No, absolutely. I think too, like we it was kind of like we were fish out of water. All of this got like sprung on all of us, and we had to adapt as quickly and as easily as we could, but also understanding the time and the energy and the labor that goes into trying to make these adjustments, especially when you are not tech savvy,
Hmm.
or you don't have the experience, or you don't have um, the resources to be able to actually do these things.
Hmm.
So definitely taking that in consideration, and also just wanting to make it so that you feel like you are in space with people, and it takes a lot. It does take a lot, but I feel like all of us have, because we are pride organizers and we're used to things being thrown at us in ways that other folks would never be able to understand. I think from what I've seen, especially in our region, that we've done a really beautiful job at supporting each other, and trying to make sure that um, folks have the things that they need,
Hmm.
basically. So, yeah. Oh.
So Hope, you are asking about hiring marketing, media, and IT company. Oh man, what are the most important factors? I would say having somebody on your side with a good bullshit detector. Like,
And making sure that they know your mission statement,
yes,
and
yeah,
they live it.
yeah. I think with like hiring out,
We
yeah,
haven't. We've been doing it in house. We've been asking friends of friends and community members to kind of help with StreamYard and put somebody here and somebody in another organization helped us out. So we didn't use StreamYard for Pride. We used StreamYard for another event this year we had.
um, Hope, you said you don't have a bullshit detector on your side. You're saying, uh, I, it's like you don't. What am I trying to say? You may not need somebody on your side who can be your IT person, but if you can like tap somebody one time to say, hey, can you just like if you could get a consultation that's separate from a sales pitch, that would be great. Because if you bring somebody in to both identify your issue and sell you the solution, they're going to be biased. So if if you can get anybody to just like kind of give their 2 cents, I will happily help. Coming to this conference and coming to this session to talk to other people who are pride organizers who are more comfortable with technology is the right step.
Hope you can put an ad out too. I know our network, we're looking for different positions for volunteers and whatnot. We actually put ads out, on God, what's the site? Not Monster, Indeed. You know,
Yeah, I mean, as nonprofits, I know that we're always looking for low cost or no cost. So when hiring out for providers, they got to make a living. So there's a big jump in price. The best thing to do is to help learn and like I said in the slide, like to kind of go at your pace. But if you got to hire out, then you got to hire out and just do the best you can and bring in the help you can. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so a lot of the software I showed was either very low cost or no cost. The Pride, what we spent to put on Virtual Pride Um, Outside of what I spent on my computer and the parts was roughly nothing. And if you're using stuff like StreamYard, uh, again, it's very low cost. So I don't want you to get yourself in a situation where you're paying $500 for something that could have been free and just a little help with the YouTube tutorial. So, we have any other thoughts on software? Because I kind of want to talk about accessibility of virtual events. Cool, yeah. So, so when we were originally planning NERP, um, like a year and a half ago, when the pandemic started, we were 2 weeks out from putting the deposit on the hotel. So we were fully planning a physical conference, but I felt strongly that I wanted to offer a virtual component. Um, my plan was that basically I was going to live stream the workshops and so people could zoom in or Skype in. At the time it was Skype. This was pre-Zoom, but I think that when you make things online, people can get there with a phone. So for kids, they don't have to drive. They don't need a ride. If you have physical limitations, you can be comfortable in your home. You can reach people over geographic distances. So I think it added kind of a new level of engagement. You do lose a segment, obviously, from not being in person, but we closed the door and we opened a window a little bit. So how do we have any? Does anyone want to share how things affected, what kind of audience you lost or gained? I saw calling on you guys.
I was actually writing down when we are outdoor pride again, do StreamYard too. I like that idea of people that may be a little bit further away, even though we intersect. And I know there's Plymouth Pride's coming in, and then Worcester Pride's kind of in the area between Boston, Providence, and Cape Cod. Um, I think it'd be really cool to have the prides do like a StreamYard event thing
Hmm.
of some sort and let other people that may not be able to get there that day because they've already done Boston and maybe they've already done Providence or they're in New York. You know, I was writing that down, so I missed what your question was.
Oh, I just kind of want to know, how do your audience change? Who did you lose and who'd you gain?
I think for us, it was I noticed our Facebook page, increase or decrease, or how we increase. You get that monthly report
Mm,
on Facebook that says how many people you got and how many people you interacted with. So seeing that, I never wrote down the statistics, but it's kind of cool to kind of see how many people actually like clicked on it and saw it and read it and things like that.
hmm.
So through Facebook, we did notice a definite increase of people checking it out.
I noticed with our pride, the people who were like interacting in the chat were like the same people who I had seen years previous in person at Pride. So it was really rewarding to see that people want to be part of Pride, and it's not just about the party. And so if it has to be on the internet, then they show up. And I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, yes. So Hope, you gained a regional audience and you're able to have national panelists versus local. Then you also have more Facebook followers. Yeah, I think that is definitely a big thing. So our conference, the fact that we had to pivot to online opened up our ability for panelists and keynote speakers much broader. The first keynote, Amber, she did live in Connecticut, but now she's out in Kansas City. But we didn't lose anything. She's right there. And a lot of our presenters are actually not local. That was our plan initially. We really wanted to highlight local folks, but you know, the pandemic. So this is what we're doing. And also the attendance at Pride was nice because we saw people from all over the place. And you know what? A lot of like the Pride networking in our Facebook pages and all that in the community. A lot of it is about sharing resources and information. So the fact that everybody's webs strengthened and widened, we can't replace the in-person connections, but I feel like we really leveled up our national means of communication. So +1 for the gay agenda. Well, I got I got time to kill, and I don't know what else to talk about.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out like what other people are doing. Like, what virtual
Oh
events do
yeah,
you have planned?
yeah,
That's what I thought this was kind of more about. Maybe we can get some ideas from each other.
definitely.
We
Let's
still
do
got a
that.
little bit of time.
Yep. So stuff that we have planned, we have bingo planned for tonight. Um, virtual bingo. I was able to use a service called, I think it was freebingocards.com. You should have got it in your email. And if you notice, those bingo cards are super easy to interact with. So that's something to share. Um, and we're doing a lot of online programming using like the StreamYard format, but I'm not as involved with OutCT's day-to-day operations. I'm more like I've graduated. I was a founding board member. I worked my way up as president for a while, and now I'm volunteer. So now I'm just kind of like special ops at this point. But yes, what do you guys have planned?
I know I don't want to keep taking over the thing, but in person Pride in September. I hope hope. I hope hope.
So
That would be great.
yeah, I think you got a good shot at September. Do you are you planning to have any kind of virtual engagement? Like, are you planning to have any kind of like live stream of the event or anything like that? Cool. Yeah, I think that's a really good use of the platform because gathering in a church probably is still going to be yeah in June. Yeah, I wouldn't plan an in person uh, service in June quite yet, but I think that's cool.
We're working on an outdoor drag show, so people pull up in their cars in the huge parking lots, and hopefully the drag queens will be able to do a show. So we're working on that for our Pride. We're also working on doing something. We have local beaches in New Bedford, so we're looking at doing something, a picnic in the park, well, picnic at the beach. We're working on a walk in the park. We have Buttonwood Park in New Bedford, so we're working on a walk in the park. And every year at our Pride, I know you probably can't see me, but I'm fat and happy. We actually do a 1.9 wellness walk around the park. Then I have yoga in the park, and then our Pride event is from like 11 to 4. So we start early, we go, and then we usually have an after Pride party. Because we're not having Pride this year, we thought we'd do an after Pride party and do something, around that weekend, as well as we did rent Gallery X, an art studio. It's got 2 floors. We were able to put up to 200 pieces, having LGBTQ plus artists put their artwork in for free. And we're only usually you have to pay to put your pieces in. Then they take 35% of all the sales. We're just taking 15% of sales, 5% for the swipe card fees for the place, and 10% back for the network. But we thought a drag show would be great.
Mhm.
And pay by the carload, whatever that looks like right now. But we're still going to do our reflections in faith, hopefully on the weekends and whatnot. But we want to keep, everybody who's used to being out in athletic, if you want to call it that, to have them. And our youth are involved as well. I'm also an adult advisor for NB Agley. So there's Bagleys all around Massachusetts, and ours is based in New Bedford. So we rented the Dartmouth movie theater for April 23rd during school vacation week. So we're taking 20 kids to the movies. And if that works out, we'll just keep running it, and then always be able to do something for our kids. And our kids meet virtual in the South Coast every Thursday at 5. So we have our own private Zoom for the kids in our community. And we're also working on an advocacy group for kids to join the network, and also an advisory board for the elders to make sure we don't miss anything.
Nice. So your drive-in drag event, that seems like a really good opportunity to like do a live broadcast of that and like a really terrific quality. That
Yep.
would that would be a really good application for like the OBS or Streamlabs OBS, because then you could get the good camera, you could get the sound in there just how you want. Because that's one of those things. If you just pulled up like a cell phone and do that, it's gonna sound like garbage.
Yeah.
That's another thing. In doing all this online stuff, I've been really picky about people's video and audio. Like, if you're someone from an organization and you're going to be doing like a weekly show or something, and your camera doesn't look good, I'm going to say, listen, let's spend a little money and step it up, because they do a good job. A $20 webcam can make a huge difference. But yeah, like your drag show. So are you planning to live stream it?
Yes.
Cool. And
Yeah.
are like you're gonna have it like nice camera mic'd up? And well,
We hope so. We did a T-Door event, Transgender Day of Remembrance in New Bedford, and we were able to get help from a gentleman who with the people of color in our community. They just actually opened up their own community center downtown, which is amazing for us. He came over and did it. We had, like you said, we had somebody stationed at their house with StreamYard, and they were able to broadcast on other sites that we have.
hmm,
And what's funny, it was only just our camera phone. And it was other people's mics, everything. He had the mic set, everything. It was just that one camera phone that went to the StreamYard, and it was just on the people. We actually had somebody, videographer, that had done the whole event and went around, so we were able to stream it live, and then have a couple interviews after, during, after, and different scenes, and then we actually showed that, on a second separate feed, if you want to call it that.
hmm.
But it's just a lot of work, right? Like you said, the technology part's a lot of work, and I just say, 1-800 dial a friend. Can you help?
Yep. Hope, I just had an idea. So a lot of the tech and software being used right now, there's a ton of overlap with the streaming community, like video game streamers, anybody who's on like Twitch. So if you know anybody even remotely adjacent in that community, they would be able to give you some advisory. I am not a video game streamer. I just think broadcasting is neat. So I picked up a lot of this stuff, but a lot of it was aimed towards streamers, and I was like a step behind because that wasn't an area of interest for me. Yeah, if you know a broadcasting person, hit them up, because it's like understanding what you want to do, and then when it comes down to the nuts and bolts, like Tracy was talking about, like running it through StreamYard with the video and audio feed. That would that's like kind of like this tricky backwards way to use it, but it's a clever application of the software, and it worked because who was running it, they understood well enough like how to get the best effect out of it. That's cool. That's a good idea. Um,
I like what you said about asking the video gamers, the streamers, for help. I don't think we tap enough into the kids, other people in our community. We always look for adults to help. Not that only kids are the only ones who video stream,
mhm.
video game. But I just wrote that down. I write like keynotes for my takeaways. And I think that's a good way to get more people involved. Oh, we lost them. Should I play some music? Do 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 do.
My browser crashed again.
Oh, sure, tech guy. Come on, man.
Oh, I got the I when I was running a session yesterday of showing everybody hopping, my computer got the blue screen of death. I mean, who even gets that anymore? But so anyway, yes, the gamers, because yes, I know my computer's not my side. I built it, man. I built this computer from scratch, and this is what it does me like this.
Oh, so it's operator error.
Probably.
Sorry.
It's a manufacturing defect.
Well,
Oh, for gaming. So like Pierce brought up Twitch earlier. I'm behind the I am behind the eight ball on Twitch. And Twitch is like big time. And all the gamers use Twitch. And it is a super great resource that our organization is not utilizing. So go for it. Let's see.
so I know Tiffany and Hope are on here. Like, what other stuff that you guys are doing? Like, some of our performers use it to stream their shows. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
I was hoping we get like some more ideas to bounce off each other, because it is tough to do virtual. Like I said, last month we came off a cup. We had a calendar. We said, all right, what are we going to do? We actually host. We took some time off, but we host a live weekly show called the LGBTQ Voice, where we bring on guests from around the community. And now, because of where we're at, we're able to do a broader, because we had in guests. People came into the studio and did it. But now we're not with that group. And it probably won't be till next year that we'll be able to come back live. But um, I don't know where I was going with that. God help us. We were able to get guests and get some ideas from other people in our community. So when there's only a few set of volunteers, I know they joke that there's 1 out of every 10 people in a community are gay. New Bedford has over 100,000 people, and there's only 7 of us, that meet weekly through the whole South Coast, and only like 3, 4 of us do like all this work. Um,
Well, it's a whole nother level to just be like pride nerd types like ourselves.
you know,
I mean, I myself, I've been doing this stuff since, yeah, I was like 13. I'm sure you've been doing this stuff forever.
I
It,
was part of Cape Cod Pride in the early '90s, and I stepped away when I moved up to New Bedford. And then I found out there was New Bedford Pride, and we took it over. New Bedford Pride joined our organization, which is the South Coast LGBTQ plus network, and we do resources and all kinds of stuff for the community, not just Pride.
mhm. Well,
But I
yeah,
love Pride.
yeah, we try to provide all sorts. Yeah, community forums, different topics. I think, a part of programming is assessing your audience's needs. What kind of content do they need and want? And right now, people probably want to talk with each other more, or they just want to watch something. Something we noticed with our Pride was like a lot of the performance, a lot of the music was kind of downbeat, um, just because that was the vibe of the year. But we've had some decent engagement talking, like community forums, like you're talking about, like people just talking to each other, saying what's going on. We're talking about this topic or that topic. There's been so much in the news this past year. We've been having a lot of talks about a lot of like, oh, talking about race a lot. Edwin does a lot. He does a weekly show where they do interviews and call-ins, and that's got a lot of good engagement. Something, and it's something that is not as easy to do in person. To organize a panel discussion in person, you can do that maybe quarterly. To do it online, you can do one every month, every week. Hope you guys did a panel on voting, protesting, and allyship. And Tiffany does Pride Talks. So Hope, so did you find it? So I know you guys have technical issues, but did you find it a little easier to put together the panel online versus in person? Yeah, yeah. So it's like one of those. It opened up an opportunity because, yeah, because like you were saying, now you can get people from 6 different states. You don't have to book the hall. You don't have to get schedules. You don't have to, you know. And another nice thing is if nobody shows up, you can record it and have that content available. Um, it can be a bummer if nobody shows up, but at least it's not all is lost. You don't have a tray of veggies wilting.
We actually had a couple comedians during Pride Month last year. We had Mimi Gonzalez, Sandra Valls, and we also had Sarah Cunningham, from the founder of Free Mom Hugs. So we were able to get her in, and some of these people you never would have without, the pandemic, right? I mean, we went to this, and I think that once we go back live, in real person, that this venue is going to be able to bring us to that next step, or a lot of us to that next step. I hate saying it, we only, compared to Boston, Providence, we have between 500 and 700 people that come to our Pride event. So this way, we're able to, get that broadcast out a little bit wider. So,
I I mean 5 700. That's a pretty good turnout to me. I mean we're pretty small.
well, when you're used to Boston and Providence around
Yeah.
here, that's like they're like, "Yep, that's it," I'm like, yeah, that's it, but it's great. We
Uh,
have 300 kids. That's amazing.
that's outstanding. Hope,
Yeah.
what pride are you with?
So we call ourselves South Coast Pride. We're based in New Bedford,
Uh,
Mass.
oh, sorry. I was asking which pride Hope was with.
Oh,
It's okay. Yeah, and North Shore. So there's North Shore and South Shore. Do you guys like? Are you like warring factions, or do you, is there a line of delineation? You guys are fighting over the same crowd.
I don't think it's ever a fight. I think it's just as what's hard is there's only so many Saturdays in June, and where do you do it? How do you do it? And I love it, like Worcester's in September, so I love the fact that people are taking it exactly right, 10 to 20. That's why I was like, we only have 500, right? Hope, but
you
I'll take
you
500, 5 to 7,
you have 15,000 people there. One of them knows how to use the computer. Guilt somebody into being a technical volunteer.
Yeah, kind of place an ad, an ad out, Hope. I mean, there's so many volunteers out there right now, and you just say, maybe you get somebody to do one day a thing, and get somebody else to do one day a thing. Guilt trips work.
And the thing is now that we're on the internet, this opens up a lot of volunteer opportunities for people who otherwise wouldn't either know how they can help or where they can help, or they physically can't. A lot of people want to be involved, but they can't. They don't have a spot. So for all of us who are very comfortable sitting at home on our computers, this is a really great opportunity to volunteer. Yes, absolutely. The issue when you have people volunteering and they leave, 100%.
Yeah.
Um, I've been that person for a long time, and I've had a lot of people pop in and be really helpful and then fade away, and that's like a legit issue regardless of the job. But they have to like really be on it in this virtual climate. So yeah, I feel that for sure. Yeah, and
Yeah, definitely Hope.
if you've got the budget for it, I didn't understand the size of your organization, but if you got that many people coming to Pride, I imagine you got a budget.
Yeah, we're all volunteer. We only have one paid position, our network coordinator. Yeah, exactly. A small board. Yeah,
Hmm.
all volunteers.
Hmm. Yeah, see if you can just get a volunteer consultant though. All I'm saying is I I don't my issue with consultants is they're identifying your problem, telling you the solution, and then selling it to you. And I think the alignment of incentives there is not in your favor.
Yeah, and Hope work on in kind. You if they're a tech person, they have their own business. Give them free ad space. Give them everything you possibly can.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, but then there's always the inevitable whoever makes your website ends up like falling into a black hole and now you don't have a web person.
She's smiling. No, I'm already the secretary. I'm already the events committee chairperson, and I'm already an adult advisor for NBAGLI, our youth group. And also, I'll tell you all now, we were able to just buy property in New Bedford to have a LGBTQ community center in the heart of downtown New Bedford. It's a 2-year build, and by the end of 2022, it should be up. So check our Facebook pages out because it's been amazing,
Mhm.
and a journey, definitely a journey. We lost them. 1 minute has ended. Please signal when through.
I was going to say,
Sorry, I have to fun of my day.
Leo, your
Hold on, he's
computer
laughing. I'm
hates
laughing with it.
you.
No, it's the Chrome tab in my browser crashes. Like I don't even know what to troubleshoot. After this, I'm gonna close Chrome. I don't even know. But Hope, I won't join your board, but I'd be happy to have a meeting and give you some help you be objective in what you're looking for in technical help.
And Hope, I mean, when we started off as our group, it was just two gay men left $1 million for the community in New Bedford for youth, for HIV needs, things like that. And the money all the years later was depleting. So someone said, well, why don't the people that have been taking this money all these years join some sort of organization? And we had Fairhaven Council on Aging. We had YWCA. We have our youth group, NB Agley. We have Project Yes, which is youth education in schools. The DA's office ended up joining at some point in South Coast Equality, and that's how we came up with our group. Our president for 6 years was a straight woman. And people are like, what? I'm like, it doesn't matter for our community. She just stepped down. Now we have a gay dude. But we do more than just pride. I hate saying just pride because pride is huge enough. But maybe with some of the things that folks can do is work on maybe doing resources and making your not just pride event a whole community event of everything. So we represent the youth, we represent the seniors, we represent the transgender community, we represent people of color and all the things that we do.
I just dropped my email in the chat if anybody wants to get in touch with me or anything. And so, Tracy, did you learn anything new? Did you pick up did you pick up anything to bring home?
Yeah, I wrote down the streamers things, community forums. We actually are part of the LGBTQ Winter Film Series that every year we are actually in site. You know, we all went to one place and watched different movies. And then we actually had guest speakers that spoke afterwards. So now what they're doing, it's online. And then you watch your own video, you know, watch the movie yourself. And then everybody comes together and Zoom and chats about it. So we've actually done a book club on our own for the network. But the LGBTQ network now is part of the LGBTQ Winter Film Series. So we do that as well.
That's a good idea.
And I put, we should be looking for, I can't read my own writing. Oh, tech support person to join the network. Yes. I was trying to get your email when you were talking. So SCHUA. Schumann.L.
Yep.
At gmail.com. I think Cope and I are Facebook friends. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I won't join your board, but
Yeah, sure. Yes, we are.
I'll help you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a nerd, so I mean this is my jam. I'm happy here, and I like to look at this as a lot of opportunities, and a lot of software has developed in this time as it's been forced to, and that's really cool. We've forced open these new channels of communication, and I think that's awesome. I think it allows people of all ages and abilities to participate, and
So one thing I just want to say is I share a lot of the information, some of the things that we do on the NERP page. And I wish others would do it as well so we can kind of see what other people are doing. And then hope, you know, whenever you guys have your information up and I see it on your personal page, I think it's really important that we share each other's information on our pages for what people are doing outside of our area. Because we all have friends. I mean, I don't like my sister at all, but she lives in, you know, Guilford, Connecticut. You know, I mean, their husband, their family owns London, God help me, Landon Lumber in Milford there. We all have friends of friends. So I think sharing this information would be good.
do you think you think it would behoove the community if we made like a Facebook group or something that was just like Pride Tech Help?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
All right, I'll take that action.
Yeah. Because I just think it's important for us to continually share.
Yes, part of the reason I wanted to do this workshop is because, like you, I wanted to know what anybody else is doing, and I just wanted to pick up what else can we do? How can I do better? So yeah, I'm gonna make a Facebook group, and so that way we can just pop in and be like, oh, check out this cool website I found. Check out this cool piece of software I found, or I'm struggling with something. Who knows a way to get through this?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this conference is a success. We can shut it down. Good.
Mhm.
All right.
All right, so we're back at stage at 1.
Yep. I'm gonna check this one off. We'll have the keynote at 1. And thank you guys for coming. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Leo.
All right. Take care now.
Thank-
All right, bye.